Welcome to the realm of Millenia. Be ye a man, a woman, a child, a spirit, a creature, or a demahan. Be ye a native migrator, or maybe even an invader into the realm. Welcome, for I am your host, the Millenia Mailman, here today on this Finish It Friday, week of the Devil's Advocate, week 21, hot take. That men versus women debates are all the cause and effect of female empowerment, inflated egos, and accountability for women's autonomy because a few women said that they wanted it and everyone agreed they didn't and just can't admit it no more. But hey, that's just the devil talking. I'm the mailman here to send the news. It's not my take at all. It's just the one I'm displaying and finishing for you, right? But yes, that is the hot take for the week. It's all about these men versus women debates and what caused them. And for the finishing video of this hot take, I'm going to be identifying female empowerment, inflated egos, and accountability, right? Where Wednesday video was mostly, it's a woman's fault. Today's video, I'm going to say, it's the men's fault. Why the hell did you do that? Right? Men versus women debates are the cause and effect of dudes supporting the female empowerment. There's always that pendulum in this conversation where I use the reference to the 1800s because I see that going around often in these men versus women debates. So I'm going to specify 1800s, right? Where back in the 1800s, since it's such a prevalent thing, right? Back in the 1800s, women were genuinely being heavily suppressed and oppressed for their voices and such and so forth. So for that object in motion stays in motion kind of dealio, as the pendulum swings from one extreme over to a next extreme, men supported the initial movement. They should have let it go and let God have it. Of course not. Men have been supporting it full way through, and it wasn't until, much like pushing a child on a swing, you push forward, it comes back, push forward, comes back. That's all you're supposed to do. But no, some dudes chose to run and support the thing and just extreme child go flying over out the swing set and goes flying a few feet in the air before plummeting to the ground. That's kind of like the whole idea of what happened with the feminism conversation as this pendulum was swinging way too far, right? Men supporting an excessive amount and not knowing when to let it go so that the pendulum doesn't go too far from this extreme to a far worser extreme on the other side, right? Men, there was a time and a place for there to be support. You totally took it too far when you should have let it go and let the women finish it out, right? So that's point one, where the whole idea of what these men versus women debates going around, it's the cause and effect of, dude, you're either one, having this men versus women debate because the pendulum swung too far, or you're seeing these men and women debate because the pendulum swung too far, where I think I said the same thing. One, the men versus women debates are a cause of the pendulum swinging too far to the left or right, and the other one is that the men and women debates are just furthering the cause of I'm not sure I'm saying anything different here. I hope you audience are hearing something different, but it doesn't feel like I'm saying anything different. But I'm going to try to say it one last time. I'm going to use a stick. Where men and women debates are like the cause and effect of female empowerment. I'm on point number 1 and I'm freaking out, man. Where this is our pendulum. I'm going to do it other ways. This is our pendulum, right? It came from one side, and the cause of its swinging was men's support for female empowerment going too far, and that's what's making the pendulum swing way out of hand. Men's support pushing it that way. Or, like, here's the men versus women debate, where just in this natural swing, it is the men versus women debate is a symptom, or so we can treat men versus women debates as a symptom of the pendulum swinging too far, or we could treat the men versus women debate as a part of the problem that makes the pendulum swing too far. Yeah. And same thing vice versa, where we can blame the dudes for the female empowerment taking this too far, because dudes played a role in female empowerment pushing the pendulum so far. Or I feel like I'm digressing, so I'm going to move on to the next point. Men versus women debates are the cause and effect of female empowerment and inflated egos. Yes, inflated egos. What is an ego before we get into inflated? Ego is a person's self-esteem. It's a noun. A person's self-esteem or self-importance. Now, these women versus men debates are caused from inflated egos. Inflated egos is a person's self-esteem going above where it really should be. Where this is your ego, that is your real ego. Inflated ego, you shouldn't be way up there. Your line is right here. Inflated ego, you're bending it, don't break it. And you seem stupid now. That is an inflated ego. No one understands you, such and so forth. Maybe you have an inflated ego. Maybe you're not that important. Maybe you're just breaking yourself. You're breaking. No, don't do it. You're breaking, and it's over. Most unfortunate. Broken, bro. Bro's broken. I don't know what to tell you. How unfortunate. That is an inflated ego situation where going down one of those two rabbit holes of it's men's fault. One, men's self-importance, trying to work so hard to white knight and support women who no longer needed support and pushed this pendulum so far that now men are fighting with women or fighting against women. You got men fighting with women, which is causing this men versus women debate, and you also have men fighting against women, which is the actual conflict of these men versus women debates. Dumb. Right? Where the inflated egos, that self-esteem, that self-importance on both sides of the men conversation here. It's the men who have inflated self-esteem, trying to support themselves And then you have inflated egos, that self-importance of the people trying to support women, or so on and so forth, or the inflated egos of those specifically trying to go against women. Because you got a whole lot of people just trying to defend themselves. I didn't do any of those things, and it seems like you're attacking me. I feel like I'm being attacked, bro. Stay over there. Stay over there. Stay over there. You have men trying to defend themselves against other men and against women, and then you have the men out here actually fighting back. Well, not even fighting back. You have people going on the assault. Men with inflated self-importance. Bro, I am more important than you. Shut up or get hurt. You have people with inflated importance. And then you have people with inflated self-esteem that feel like they have to defend themselves. Right? So they'll fight back. Inflated self-esteem makes you fight back. Inflated importance makes you fight first the moment you feel like you heard something that you didn't really like or agree with. I don't think I like what you said. Take it back or get punched in the face. No, I'm sorry. Take it back or I'll give you a free knuckle sandwich. Right? Inflated self-importance will put you on the attack. Inflated self-esteem has you fighting in defense. A regular self-esteem, no problems, no troubles, is like, how do I get out of here? I'm not running away from the conversation. I just don't think this conversation has anything to do with me. And because it's got nothing to do with me, I don't want any part to play in your games. It's weird. It's childish and stupid. And I don't want any part of it. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. A regular self-esteem is going to be like, leave me alone. Inflated self-esteem is going to be like, leave me alone or I will fight. Tooth and nail, like a cornered rat. Inflated self-esteem is a cornered rat. Inflated importance. Bro, keep looking at me funny. Keep looking at me funny, bro. Keep looking at me funny. See what happens. See what happens. See what happens, bro. I don't want anything to ever do with self-importance. But that's why inflated ego is bad in both men and women, because inflated self-importance is dangerous. Inflated self-esteem can be dangerous. And when you just have a normal ego, a normal self-worth, a normal self-esteem, a normal rating of your own self-importance, the world is your oyster. For all of you allergic to shellfish, the world is still your oyster. Right? But I digress. Men versus women debates are the cause and effect of female empowerment, inflated egos, and accountability for women's autonomy. Accountability for women's autonomy. That is point 3. Where here, the whole reason men and women are having these debates is because some people, much like when we abolished slavery here in America, some people didn't want to let go of their slaves. So there is the one perspective of these men versus women debates, are some women trying to seek justice and acknowledgement that some men were terrible people and some men still are very terrible people. trying to seek justice from the people who had no part in it. Because those terrible people, they're not fitting to change. And those terrible people have minimal to zero affiliation with any of the good ones. So all the good ones trying to fight to defend themselves or run away from you, where have all the good men gone? I have no part in this, leave me alone. Right? You have the women trying to fight these debates that the men started with their actions. The women are trying to initiate the conversation, right? Where the debate comes from the actions of men and trying to answer for them. And these debates are generally centered around accountability. A lot of these no fugazi podcast, fresh and fit podcast are trashing women as a community for not being able to get them to be held accountable for the things they do. That's what I'm not going to speak on them. That just seems like that, right? Where a lot of the talking points is that you can't hold women accountable for nothing, right? It's like, okay, seems a bit strange and inaccurate, but that's fine. That's your opinion, right? So that sentence to be like, I don't know what color pill it is. I think it's red pill. It might be black pill. If it seems black, this always seems much worse. But it might be red pill. I think it's red pill content. It's like women can't be held accountable. It's a problem. It's a problem. They're so much different than they used to be. Right? Where it's like accountability for the women autonomy. So, pill content, I'll just leave it at that. Where a lot of these pill content arguments around these men versus women, who's worse, who's better, and whose fault is it, could be centered around that accountability issue on the women's side specifically, where you can also blame men for that. Because back in the 1800s, women didn't even technically have the right to be held accountable or have autonomy for their own lives and their voices. And again, women just are continuing the conversation, seeking justice for those who could not and don't have a voice. Trying to hold the whole world hostage to have this conversation, while most of you guys who end up holding the world hostage have some of the worst representation. Tripping on, fumbling over your own words in these debates, getting shut down and shot down horribly. It's like, okay, you just contradicted yourself 5 times in the last 4 words. I can't. You said literally 4 words and you somehow contradicted yourself 5 times. I can't. You contradicted yourself 5 times in 4 words. The math is just so brain. Do I even have my brain no more? Right? Where women you have a great argument, you have a great base, you have a great connection and conclusion. Just how you weave that together just makes it look like a piece of and oftentimes in a lot of these podcasts and discussions, you look really bad, you sound really bad. And like me, I'm an incredibly intellectual, competent person when it comes to debating specifically. So I can deep dive and see a person's point of view from even the smallest, shortest of clips, be able to understand it and help you fight that point. But a lot of people are not very eloquent with their words, so it's not easy for a majority of people to hear them and be able to agree with them off that. It hurts my soul. As a debater, it hurts my soul. But overall, shut up. Don't you dare. Shut up, dog! I'm getting off topic. Where was I? Accountability for women's autonomy. Right, yes. We're blaming men in this video. The fact that women aren't taking accountability is men's fault. Women are still trying to... The women's side of this debate and discussion is always trying to seek justice for other people. It's their fellow woman, right? And the men are just deep diving like it's not your battle to fight. Stay out of it. I was like, that's not a good take, but it's hard to articulate, right? Or how or why it's not a good take. So it just gets this wrapped up in this perpetual motion machine of an endless men versus women conversation, because one side's seeking justice, but the other side is like, you shouldn't be seeking it from me. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't do it. I don't intend to do it, but if you keep blaming me, I might just do it. Leave me alone. Or find out. F around and find out. F around and find out. What, you want to go back outside? I'm asking. Do you? I'll open it for you. You want to go? Go ahead. Bless you. That dog really likes to sunbathe. I don't even know where I was anymore, and I don't feel like having this conversation. So I'm going to end the video there for no other reason than the fact that I just lost where I was at, and I don't feel like refinding it. So leave a like, comment, share the video for more exposure, subscribe if you feel like supporting my endeavors to finish my book, specifically the book, not the YouTube channel. And I'll be posting more videos every single day until my book is published, meaning I'll be putting out more content faster than the gears can turn that way. Yeah, that's gonna be the cutoff for this one. I really lost where I was at. That stinks. Yep, Devil's Advocate, week 21. Forget it. Peace. Bye-bye.